In my job, you learn to move fast. Like a trauma nurse, you assess the bleeding. You clamp it. You stabilize. No time for tears. When a life is slipping through your fingers, there's no training manual for when it's your own life bleeding out. No handbook for when the people you trust drive the knife in deep and twisted. Christmas Eve was always loud at the Martin house. The fireplace hummed. Kids ripped open presents. The smell of cinnamon filled the air, along with that familiar disappointment hanging heavy. I stood there holding a mug of coffee, watching the chaos, trying to push away the gnawing ache in my gut that something wasn't right. I smiled. I joked. I wore the mask. Then came the gifts from my wife's sister, matching customized t-shirts for everyone. The room erupted with whoops and laughter as the clever sayings flashed: Grill Master, Mom Boss, CEO of Naps. Until they got to mine. World's Biggest Loser. The room cracked open with laughter. I felt my face flush hot. I forced out a short, stiff laugh because what else could I do? But she wasn't done. My sister-in-law raised her glass, her voice slicing through the noise. I feel so sorry for my sister, having to share her husband while he's off on all those work trips. Now she finally knows what real pleasure is. The words hit harder than any slap. And my wife didn't defend me. She didn't deny it. She just smirked, shrugged, and said, "He's not totally useless. He's good at cooking and cleaning." Another round of laughter exploded. I stared at her, the woman I had built a life with. She wouldn't meet my eyes. I didn't say a word. I didn't ask questions. I just set down my coffee, stood up, and walked to the garage like a man moving through a dream. I grabbed my tool bag and left. The cold night air bit through my jacket, but I barely felt it. My hands shook on the steering wheel as I drove with no destination, my mind howling. I ended up parked at an empty construction site on the edge of town, engine off, staring into the blackness, my heart hammering so hard I thought it would rip through my ribs. 243 missed calls and texts lit up my phone again and again. Please answer. It was a prank. It was just a prank. I sat there breathing in the silence, trying to stitch myself back together. When I finally called someone who wasn't them, it was my younger brother, Nate. "You okay, bro?" His voice cracked something inside me. "No," I said, the word small and pitiful. I told him everything, the shirts, the toast, the smirk. He was quiet for a long time. "You need to be smart now," he finally said. "This isn't just about your heart, man. It's your life. Your future. Protect it." He was right. Anger wouldn't save me. Tears wouldn't either. I drove back at dawn, slipping into the house like a ghost. She was curled up on the couch, eyes puffy, clutching my shirt like it was some kind of offering. I didn't wake her. I didn't speak. Instead, I packed a duffel bag, took pictures of important documents, opened a new bank account, and made an appointment with a lawyer that afternoon. It wasn't impulsive. It was surgical, clinical, like closing a wound before it could fester. Then came the second hit. In the lawyer's office, she handed me a folder: bank statements, credit card bills, hidden transactions, secret apartments, one in her name, one in her sister's. They hadn't just been laughing at me. They had built a whole life behind my back, spending the money I earned while I thought we were saving for a future together. The lawyer looked at me over her glasses. "We'll hit them clean. Controlled. You'll come out protected." I nodded, heart hammering, the taste of betrayal thick on my tongue. The papers were served 2 days later. On New Year's Eve. No fireworks this year. Only her screaming on the front porch while neighbors peeked through their blinds. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. I didn't even look back when she collapsed onto the porch, sobbing. It almost broke me. Almost. But then I remembered the look on her face, the way she smirked while the whole room laughed at me, and I kept walking. It's been 4 months now. Sometimes, when I'm making coffee in my silent apartment, I still feel that old aching sadness creeping up my spine. The grief of a life that wasn't real. The ghost of a trust that had rotted away long before I realized it. We didn't have kids, thank God. But I still mourned the dreams we had built together. I've learned that surviving betrayal isn't about getting even. It's about getting free. I didn't burn the house down. I didn't fight dirty. I just closed the door and walked away. And when I lie awake now staring at the ceiling, it isn't anger that keeps me up. It's something quieter. Stronger. Hope. Because even after everything, even after being labeled the world's biggest loser, I know I was never the one who low.